What's up, Thriver? I'm Crystal K, your new healthy bestie that's here to help you take the heart out of health and eat well with ease. And today I'll show you how to make a thirst-quenching, super hydrating smoothie so that no matter what you have around, you will know how to mix and match everything to make a delicious and nutritious and hyper hydrating smoothie. And a lot of what I'm teaching today is inspired by this book, Quench, which I highly recommend. All right, so now that we're fast friends, let's talk for a sec about why smoothies are so dang hydrating. Okay, first we're gonna need to talk about a fourth state of water. Yes, it turns out there are not three: liquid, gas, and ice. There's actually a fourth, which is called gel water or easy water. And this water is the type of water that's in our body and also the type found in vegetables and fruits. So by eating it in a gel water state, we are more likely to absorb it. In addition, the vegetables and fruit also provide a lot of electrolytes, minerals, nutrients, fiber, all of which help us actually absorb the gel water. The fiber helps slow the water down in our body so it stays in our body longer, and therefore allows us time to actually absorb it. And also the smoothies are blended up. They're basically pre-chewed. And because we're not filtering the fibers out like you would in a vegetable juice or fruit juice, the fibers do a lot to slow the water down and giving us time to absorb it. And they also act as a prebiotic, which feeds our good gut bacteria, which also needs to be hydrated. And when your gut bacteria is happy, believe me, you are happy and healthy. The first and foremost, the most important, is the vegetables. The vegetables have got so many beneficial hydrating qualities. They have the gel water, they have the fiber, they have the nutrients, the minerals, and the electrolytes in them. All right, so when it comes to vegetables, there's a lot you can choose from. There's everything from leafy greens like kale, spinach, iceberg lettuce, romaine lettuce, all the way to like celery and radishes and cauliflower and broccoli and tomatoes, carrots, eggplant, sweet bell peppers, sprouts. All of these things have a ton of water and all the other good things that will actually help you soak up the water. Now, when it comes to actually choosing your veggies, you can put anything in there, right? Any mix and match of these that sounds good to you. Some of these veggies, as you might guess, are a little bit more neutral on the palate, and I picked a lot of those here because I thought it'd be a good place to start if you're new to adding veggies to your smoothie, because if you're used to just like fruit and bananas and maple syrup and dates, all these super sweet things in your smoothie, these smoothies are definitely not going to be quite as palatable as those, but they can be very palatable because, as we'll get to, you get to add some sweet stuff to it. So anyway, so the vegetables that I have here are a little bit more neutral. Things like iceberg lettuce and cucumbers and zucchini and romaine lettuce. Like romaine lettuce and iceberg lettuce are gonna be a little bit more neutral on the palate than say kale and spinach. We'll start by adding some of our veggies. I'm gonna go ahead and add some romaine lettuce and some iceberg lettuce to get lots of greens in there as the base. We'll add some cucumbers as well, and even some zucchini, because yeah, that sounds amazing. I gotta be careful, I get a little carried away and I just wanna keep adding all this fun stuff to it, and then all of a sudden my smoothie's like this. So I'll hold off, I can add more later if there's room in the blender. So now that we've added our veggies, we get to move on to the next category of items to add in our smoothie, and that is the fruits and sweeteners, all right? Everybody's favorite part, I'm sure. You don't have to add fruit. You could just do like a vegetable smoothie and keep it savory, almost like a V8 or like a tomato juice, like Virgin Bloody Mary style, which is delicious and a really nice way to mix things up. But if you want to balance out the veggies and make it more palatable, fruit and sweeteners are a great way to do that. So to sweeten your smoothie, you can either add frozen or fresh fruits like blueberries, grapefruit, oranges, apricots, raspberries, grapes, peaches, strawberries, watermelon, any sort of melon, pineapple, apples. These are all super hydrating and sweet fruits that'll make your smoothie hydrating and delicious. So if possible, try to wean yourself off of bananas in your smoothie, and instead, if you want a sweet boost, you can use maple syrup, which has a lot of minerals, or honey, which actually helps you soak up the moisture and it seals in the moisture. So honey's great for hydration. You can also use stevia, which is made from a plant, or monk fruit, which is also made from a fruit. And these are in liquid form. So these are super strong. You just need like a drop or two or a few. So let's go ahead and add some fruit. I'm gonna mix and match based on what I have. I have some Defrosted pineapples are defrosted just because they've been sitting here for a minute, but otherwise those were frozen. I'm gonna go ahead and add these peaches because delish, and maybe just like an apple or two. And you don't need multiple fruits, you can just use one, all right? Same with the veggies. If you want, just use one. Use what you got. So the third category of the type of foods you want in your hydrating smoothie is healthy fats, because every cell in your body is actually lined with a fat layer. So having healthy fats with your water actually helps the water penetrate through that fat layer and actually get into the cell. So when it comes to hydrating fats, not all are created equal. You'll want to avoid trans fats, seed and vegetable oils like sunflower seed oil, safflower oil, soybean oil, vegetable oil, canola oil, any of those, you don't want to eat those because those will go rancid in your body and actually destabilize the cell and is not the type you want soaking into your body. So the type of fats that you do want in your smoothie are everything from avocados, which are loaded with healthy fats, to coconut oil or a full fat coconut milk, or even MCT oil, which is derived from coconut oil, or a grass-fed butter like Kerrygold, or a clarified butter called ghee. Ghee is actually super hydrating because it already has a lot of moisture in it. You can also add nut butters to the smoothie like peanut butter, almond butter, mixed nut butter, sunflower butter. Any of those nut butters will be great. Or you can add whole nuts into your smoothie like raw cashews, pecans, walnuts. I personally like to put my whole nuts on top because I like to have that crunch in my smoothie, so I usually won't add it to my actual smoothie, and that is why avocado is usually my preferred oil for my smoothies when I have it in the kitchen. So let's go ahead and add some avocado to our smoothie. I'm gonna go ahead and add a half because I'm gonna make a whole blender full. This is gonna last, depending on if the hubby helps me eat it or not, and he usually does, this will last a day and a half usually. So time to add our fourth type of foods to our hydrating smoothie, and that is fermented or acidic foods. So you can either do something like an apple cider vinegar, which is acidic and fermented, or a lemon or lime, which is super acidic, or even like a grapefruit or orange, maybe depending on how sweet it is, could count as the acid. So you could also, if you're doing like a V8, like a vegetable tomato juice, you could totally add like sauerkraut would be really good, or even pickles or olives would be delicious. But the point is you want to get some sort of acid in the juice because they have a lot of minerals and electrolytes, which just help this food penetrate deeply into your body. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a lemon because I have some in the house. If I didn't, I would totally use my apple cider vinegar. But I think I'll do a whole lemon too. Sometimes I just do half, depending on what we have around. So we're just gonna juice a whole lemon in here. So now it's time to add our fifth type of food, which is salt. And thank God, because we just added some lemon in here, and salt will balance out the acid and make this whole thing more palatable. So that's great news. As well as bring out all the flavors, of course. So I have some Himalayan pink salt here. I'm gonna go ahead and add a pinch of that. You can also use a Celtic salt or a sea salt or a rock salt. Basically, you want some minerals in your salt. Sodium itself is an electrolyte, but the minerals in the salt make it a total package that helps this truly be a super hydrating drink. So make sure you're not just using straight table salt or kosher salt, some white salt. Those have all been processed so that all the goodies are taken out. So make sure there's a little color to your salt because that means it's got the goodies. So we're on to the sixth type of food that you're gonna wanna add to your smoothie, and that is a liquid. The liquid is basically gonna help you blend this thing, right? It's also gonna help add more hydration to this. I mean, you're adding water, which is gonna be blended with all these other greatness and just make it even more hydrating. When it comes to water, you wanna use spring or filtered water. Or you could use a fruit juice or a combo of these, but you can also use fruit juice, especially if you don't have any frozen or fresh fruit. You can use a juice with no added sugars instead. You could also use kombucha, which is amazing because it's also fermented and super tasty. You can use an herbal tea, especially something like chamomile or licorice, which are both super sweet and they're actually also hydrating. You can also use like a canned coconut milk, which has a lot of fat, so it could also count as your liquid and fat. You could also use a coconut water, especially if you're making like a tropical version with like pineapple and mango and coconut. You can make like a tropical type of smoothie. So we're gonna go ahead and just add some water, as much as we think we'll need to blend this. So let me know how you're feeling about this smoothie so far. Is it looking like it's gonna be tasty, or are you like, oh my gosh, this is gonna taste crazy? I'm curious, so let me know in the comments and we'll chat about it. And now we get to talk about the last and final category of foods to put in your hydrating smoothie, and that is your hydration boosters. So these you don't actually have to put in your smoothie, of course, but if you are making hydrating smoothies regularly, you might as well stock some of these so that you can pop them in and just give it that nice kick, and so you'll feel really, 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 really good about your hydrating smoothies, okay? The hydration boosters are herbs like basil, parsley, any herbs you want. Herbs are amazing. They are true superfoods. So if you want to add any herbs to this, that would be amazing. I have some basil right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and add that. You could also add some spices like cardamom or cinnamon are really great for hydration smoothies. The other super hydrating superfood is chia seeds. These are incredible when it comes to hydration. And so you might as well stock some of these. You can get them pretty affordably nowadays. And if you've ever seen these come in contact with water, then you've seen them get really gelatinous, right? That is gel water. So these are great for gel water. So you might as well add some. They'll also thicken your smoothie. If you like a really creamy smoothie, then chia seeds are perfect for you. The other thing to add is a probiotic. What I'll do is I'll just open up the capsule and just add the powder right to the smoothie. You can even add 2 if you want, depending on if you're doing a full blender or not. The other hydration booster you could add is ginger. Ginger is so delicious in smoothies. It gives it like a nice spicy kick, and it's also very hydrating. All right, so let's go ahead and blend this baby up. Great, and it's pretty gelatinous-y actually, and that's thanks to the chia seeds and the avocado, made it nice and creamy. So my favorite topping lately is almonds, slivered almonds, because I really, really like a bit of nut in each bite. That way it just helps me chew the smoothie, and chewing the smoothie is a really good idea. If possible, try to leave the smoothie in your mouth, even if it's smooth, for a few seconds, and that way you start digesting it in your mouth. You sort of prepare your body for what's coming, and you're able to maximize on the nutrients and hydration and all the goodies. So let's enjoy. So good. So again, if you want the cheat sheet for how to make a hydrating smoothie, it'll be on my blog. Just click the link in the description below. And if you got anything out of this video, if you enjoyed it at all, please like it so more people can discover it. Please comment and let me know what you think, and please subscribe, because I'll definitely be making more videos to help you eat well with ease. I've also been playing a lot lately with savory smoothies because they're just so delicious. So if you want a video on savory hydrating smoothies, let me know in the comments below. It was so fun hanging out with you in the kitchen. I look forward to seeing you again next week.